Hello, this is Dylan Moore with iRead TV, coming to you still from my interim spot in Japan, still on the quest for new living and new office space. The adventure has been fun, learning about how Japanese mortgages work, which they sounded so great at the beginning. Less than 1% interest rate in having houses fully financed. But getting a Japanese bank to not see you as something other than a scary gaijin has been a fun challenge. It appears that we have found a bank who's interested in loaning to us. We've got a pre-approval, if that's what you even call it in Japan. And swear to God, man, 0.45% of the interest rate. 0.45% of the interest rate. Can you even imagine what the United States would look like right now if we had interest rates like that? I mean, we've gone over and above on the show of how complicated interest rates are, but just from a personal level of, like, you know, buying a house or whatever, buying some office space, when interest rates hit about 5.3%, your payment literally doubles. Like, play with a mortgage calculator. Your payment will literally double. And coming here and seeing the interest rates here, I'm actually seeing that in reverse. And so whatever house that we look at, first off, they're cheap in the first place. And then second off, when I plug it into the mortgage calculator, and it's basically zero for the interest rate, the payment's so cheap, it like makes my eyes go cross. But anyway, that's the fun thing that's been happening in Japan so far. I didn't start this video to talk about that. What I started this video to talk about was vandalism. Because we all know vandalism is very fun. Destroying things is a great way to get an adrenaline rush. And it's also a great way to go to jail, as everybody's finding out. We're watching a lot of these Tesla fuck around and find out videos, which are very, very satisfying to see someone key a car and then get challenged. I made a video earlier regarding kind of looking at the psychology of people who do stuff like this, and the fact that they, for whatever's going on in the brains, that they don't feel shame just lying straight to your face. You catch them straight in the act, like that their hand is actively in the cookie jar, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm not taking any cookies." Like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. You're the one taking cookies. Like, and I was thinking about that for a while since I recorded that, and I realized that there's a meta situation to discuss here, which is, as satisfying as it is to A, watch these people get confronted, B, watch these people see justice, and then I guess C, having an administration that's actually actively seeking to enforce the law, right? I mean, that's part of the breakdown that we're seeing in society, particularly throughout the Western world, is this arbitrarily choosing when and when not to follow the law. And so that these, Pam Bondi apparently is I read on, some Twitter post this morning, X post this morning, that someone is facing 20 years. Like, she's going to press for 20 years for this Tesla damage and Tesla vandalism. And on one hand, it's incredibly satisfying to finally see justice. And I say that in the sense of the situation's been so crazy for so long that something this small, right, people vandalizing cars getting justice, is like this massive sigh of relief. Doesn't even describe it right. It's like, you're starving and you finally get some food, is the feeling of seeing, like, wow, these insane zombie leftists aren't just getting coddled by the system. They're actually receiving the justice that they deserve, or I should say the victims are receiving the justice that they deserve. And it's easy to lose the forest through the trees with this. It's so easy to lose the forest through the trees with this, because fundamentally, this is really the situation we're looking at. We've got Team Illuminati Overlord, and I always say that term half jokingly, because it's not like there is one group of people that get together around a round table that say, here's how we're going to deterministically predict every aspect of everything in the entire world in order to conquer it, and everything that we do just kind of plays into our hands because we've already predicted everything. I am not saying that at all, but I am saying there are groups of people who sit around round tables who at least attempt to talk like that, right? I'm not saying that they're successful at it, and I'm not saying they go into the level of detail that maybe reading David Icke would make you feel like that they're going into. But there are people attempting to do that, and they there's multiple groups of them. They don't necessarily agree with each other. They often fight with each other. But the overall idea is that yes, we need to move toward getting either humanity completely under control or killing most of them off, and getting rid of these old ideas of the individual is important, or that there's intrinsic value in human beings, or this idea of self-government. Yeah, that's all crazy, backward, archaic nonsense. We need to get on with the progressive ideas, which is that the state is God, and anybody who doesn't put the needs of the state first, they're being selfish, and selfish people need to be dealt with accordingly. That's really what we're looking at here. And part of the major strategy of successfully pushing that through, whatever the goal is, and I mean the goal's pretty scary. The crazy transhumanist technocracy, kill off 80% of the population, if not more. So I mean, injected with poisons and vaccines and blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. One of the main drivers of getting that done is distraction. And the core quality of distraction is getting the cattle to fight each other. Getting the cattle to fight each other. And in the wake of the last 8 years, I guess we're going on 9 years. I'm picking 2016 as kind of the year that the populist uprising kind of sort of started to take effect, right? Even within the last 8 years, when we see that, hey, there appear to be groups of people, questionable often at times, that are getting into the power structure that actually look like they have the best intentions of the general populace, at least partially at heart, right? Maybe not fully at heart, but at least partially at heart, which is light years, a far cry from we just need to enslave everybody, which is kind of the modus operandi that we've been working on for some time. And even with that, and so on one hand we see, and right now it's the in quotes right. I really want to avoid kind of like this right left thing, but it's just like so obvious in our face. It's the in quotes right that is starting to have that element in it, and on the in quotes left, we're seeing this zombie NPC, attack zombie NPC thing happening, where the media or whatever source these people are getting their, magic words from, their Pavlovian commanded words from, to get them to engage in whatever action they're supposed to engage in, is commanding them to do these absolutely crazy things. This Summer of Love was a perfect example. The riots that happen all the time, but just for the sake of this video and the conversation I'm having now, is or the monologue I'm having now, is these keying and vandalism of Teslas, where you say, wait a minute. These guys over here are completely insane, and we have some guys over here that, maybe they're not right about everything all the time, but, oh, look at my hair. It's sticking up weird all over the place. Maybe they're not right about everything all the time, but they, at least they're trying, and they're not feeding the Malachian god of like enslave everybody and rape, put all the pedos in power, and we'll have child molestation leaders for the foreseeable aeonic future, right? Even those two things coming into conflict with each other are a distraction. That's what I'm saying. Even those two things are coming into a conflict with each other are a distraction. And here's why, right? Is that we see the again, I'm just sticking with the Teslas. There's more examples in the Teslas, but the Teslas are this perfect example of the NPCs going crazy, doing property damage, and getting their comeuppance for it. It is very emotionally satisfying, but it changes this much about policy. Because I talked about that one of the main drivers of Team Illuminati Overlord getting their plans into place is distraction. The other driver is controlling the policymaking apparatus. And we've talked about this in systematic politics shows. that right now, excuse me, right now, the organizations that control the policymaking apparatus, and the main one is, I believe, the Social Science Research Council. That's like the core thing where all the policy disseminates from, and it gets into all the organizations that you've probably never heard of that are there in your face if you take 1 second to look at them. I'm talking about the National Governors Association. I'm talking about your state association of county sheriffs, or your state association of county auditors, or your state association of city managers, or the National Association of City Managers, or the regional conference of county legislators, or the regional conference of state legislators, whatever. Right? You've got all these, like, in quotes, private organizations where these public officials meet, and within those organizations, what gets disseminated is this policy that's generated from this core source, the Social Science Research Council, which is all revolved around how Team Illuminati Overlord actually gets stuff done. And you and I get distracted by, oh, look, someone's keying a Tesla, and then gets confronted and arrested by the police and is facing 20 years. And, I mean, I don't want to go down a deep rabbit hole into systematic politics. I've done a few shows on this before, which is to say, I'll see if I could say it as succinctly as I possibly can. Instead of looking at who the person in charge is, look at the rules that they have to follow. And the Team Illuminati Overlord has it down to a science, literally, where they don't care who gets elected and in power, for the most part, with an asterisk, right? I mean, for example, the Trump administration, I think, is setting them for a complete loop, but they do have their fail-safes to get around it. For the most part, they don't care who gets elected as long as those electeds pass their policy. And, well, where does the policy come from? The most specific example I can give, because this is the one I actually ran into, is the in Washington State, and I'm from Washington, so I'm always focused on Washington. There's the Municipal Science Research Project, Municipal Science Research Council. I want to get this right. MunicipalScienceResearchCouncil.org. Did I get it right? No, Marine Spill Response Corporation, MRSC.org. There it is, MRSC. I believe that stands for Municipal About Us. Hold on. The Municipal Research and Services Center. There we go. MRSC.org. Where MRSC.org is a organization within Washington State that's all about helping everything to do with the city, whether you're the city mayor or the city manager or the city legislatures or the city administrator or whatever, helping you with what you need in order to comply with the rules and regulations that come down from the state or the federal government or whoever. And so everything's so complicated. Right? I mean, like, go look at how urban planning zones are figured out, or the modern development rules, or you've got to have this 10-year plan for the zoning as a blah, 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 and Joe Schmo gets elected. He doesn't know how to do any of that. It doesn't matter if there's an R or a D after his name, and so he goes running to the Municipal Research and Services Center because he's like, I don't know what to do, and they're like, oh, you need one of these. There you go. And so we're all fighting about our Republicans, our Democrats, and our red state and the blue state, and blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, it's the same policy that gets disseminated to both sides. It's the same policy that gets disseminated to both sides. So if you really want to be able to change policy, you've got to be able to disconnect from this drama. And the super drama that I'm bringing up right now is this Tesla car vandalism thing. Because, I mean, even for me, it's emotionally satisfying to see these guys get these comeuppance, because, like I said, it's like we've been starving for so long for something to make sense in Clown World. And we finally get this little thing, and it's like, oh my God, I finally get to eat for, I haven't eaten in 40 years, or, whatever you want to put your starting point for Clown World beginning. And I finally get something to eat, and even though it's not like nourishing food, at least I'm not going to starve to death, right? And I mean, I understand there's something to be said about the fact that the system, there is something systematic about the fact that these people are actually getting the justice, right? Because if we had, for example, maybe Kamala Harris in charge, would these people be getting the same level of prosecution that they would otherwise? So there is a systematic level that, yes, they are. The system is working better than it otherwise would, because these people are getting charged and put in jail and fined or whatever. But again, in terms of us making these videos saying, like, look at this flashing news, look what's happening, these people, all these Tesla cars are getting keyed, but they all have cameras, and now they're all getting caught, and here they're getting confronted, and here's Pam Bondi saying that they're going to go for 20 years, and here's Trump saying that, did he say treason or traitor or terrorist or whatever he said, right? Just like, drama, blah, 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 but nothing changes about policy. It's a distraction, and fundamentally, it's a distraction about getting the cattle to fight with themselves. Now, I'm not saying that these people shouldn't be thrown in jail, okay? Let me be clear about that. But for us to dramatize it, it's just us getting completely distracted. So I just want to make a quick video while you're digesting this stuff on Twitter, feeling like, because you get the feeling that something productive is happening. And I mean, for that individual instance, yes, something productive is happening. But in terms of at a systematic level of changing the way the system works via policy, it's changing nothing. If you want to help, put the system, depending on your view, whether you want to put it back together, it was good before, or there's a way to put it together in the future that's better than the way it was before, whatever. If you want to be anything more than a passive plaything for Team Illuminati Overlord, you have to learn how to figure out how to address the system specifically. So I just want to make a short video on this. This is Dylan Moore with iRead TV. Check us out at iRead.tv. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.